Hello, welcome to next session. Continuing with GATE 2018 Production and Industrial Engineering paper, starting from question number 33 in this video. In a mass production firm, measurements are carried out on 10,000 pair of shaft and hole. The mean diameter of the shaft and the hole are 37.53 mm and 37.59 mm respectively. The corresponding standard deviations are 0.03 mm and 0.04 mm. The mean clearance and its standard deviation both in mm respectively are option A 0.06 and 0.07, option B 0.06 and zero point zero 0.06, option C 0.06 and zero point zero 0.05, option D 0.07 and zero point zero 0.01. So the mean clearance is given by the difference of mean diameter of shaft and hole. Okay, so this is the mean clearance. Okay, that is 0.06 and mean standard deviation is given by the standard deviation of hole square plus standard deviation of shaft square root. Okay, so answer is here 0.05. Okay, so option C is the correct answer. Next, a pressure die casting setup was tested by injecting water density 1000 kilogram per meter cube at a pressure of 200 bar. Mold filling time was found to be 0.05 seconds. Afterwards, actual casting is made by injecting the liquid metal density 2000 kilogram per meter cube at an injection pressure of 400 bar. Neglect all losses, bracket friction, viscous effect, etc. The approximate mold filling time in second is option A 0.05, option B 0.075, option C zero point 0.1, option D zero point 0.2. Okay. So initially the casting was tested with water by injecting water. Okay, and at pressure 200 bar. Okay. So the water injected at 1 1 and goes in the mold cavity at 2 2. At 1 1, at 1 1 the velocity is your 0. Okay, and when it reaches the mold cavity, the pressure energy changes into the kinetic energy and it retains some velocity here. Okay, so applying Bernoulli's equation at 1 1 and 2 2. Okay, so we will have P1W by rho WG, V1 square W by 2G, H1. Okay, and for 2, P2W rho WG plus V2 square W by 2G plus H2. Okay, so this is what P2. Now at 1 1 and 2 2, H1 and H2 are same. Okay, and at 1 velocity 0. Okay, and at 2 the pressure is atmospheric or we can take it as 0. Okay, so now we can find out VW2. Okay, V2W, sorry. Okay, now we have P1W, that is 2 and rho W at 1000. Okay, and so we can find out V2. So V2 is your 20 meter per second. So this is the velocity with which the mold is getting filled. Okay, so the capital V is the volume of the mold and A is the cross section area of the mold. Okay, so time for filling the mold is your volume by sorry time for filling a mold is your PW. Okay, then the discharge or the flow rate is given by volume by time. Okay, and it is also it can also be written as A into velocity. Okay, A is cross section area and B is your height with which it is the rate of change of height of water within the mold. Okay, okay, so it is so now V by A is your VTW and V2W. Okay, T2W. Okay. Now V by A is your H, that is a constant quantity. Okay. Now this we have checked with water. Now in the second case, Uh, in the second case, a liquid metal is being injected whose density is 2000 kilogram per meter cube when pressure is just 400 bar. Okay. Now again applying the same Bernoulli equation, okay, we can get the velocity of liquid metal. Okay, that is your V2L is your sorry V2L is your 200 V2L is V2L. Okay, V2L is your 200 meter per second. Okay. Now again the time with the water time for filling the mold with water is your TW2W. And similarly, the time for filling same mold with liquid is your supposed to 12. Okay. Now this quantity height of the mold is constant. Okay. So, this will remain constant. V2 to L is to T2L will be constant. Okay. So V by A will remain constant. Okay. So uh, now equating this quantity with water and with liquid. Okay. Now T2W is given. That is uh, T2W is given as T2W is given as 0.05 seconds. Okay. And from this, and we have V2W as 200 and V2L as 200. Okay. It is also 200. So T2L will also be 0.05 seconds. So answer is your 0.05 seconds. So let us make small modification here. This is V2L. Okay. V2L and V2W are same. Okay. So this is V2L. Okay. V2L is your 200 meter per second. Okay. Next, the value of surface integration double integration s 9xi minus 2yj minus zk dot nds over the surface s of the sphere x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 9, where n is the unit outward normal to the surface element ds. Okay. So this is the equation of the sphere, that is x square plus y square plus z square equal to 9 with standard, with comparing the standard equation. This is your r square, so r is your 3. So radius of the sphere is your 3. Now the closed surface is given. This is closed surface. Okay, is given. Okay. Now using Gauss divergence theorem, so this surface integral can be changed into volume integral, and it will be uh, delta dot 9xi minus 2yj minus zk dv. Okay. Now this delta is nothing but curly by curly x I, curly by curly by I, and curly by curly z. Sorry, curly by j I, j, and curly z by curly k. So if we dot product them, then we get curly 9x by x and curly minus 2y by y and curly minus z by z. Okay. So and this is your nothing but dx d by dz because this volume or we can keep it same also. Okay. So it's a differentiation 9, it's a minus 2, it's minus 1. So it will be your 6. So 6 volume integral is dv. Okay. Now this is here there is no x, y or z, so we can take it as b. So b is your 4 by 3 pi r 4 pi by 3 r cube. R is your 3. Okay, so the answer is your 2165 or 678.580. Okay, 678.580. Okay, so this is our answer. Next, consider the differential equation 2d square y by dt square plus 8y. is equal to 0 with initial condition t is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, and dy by dt is equal to 10. The value of y up to two decimal places at t is equal to 1 is the so changing d square y by dt square to the auxiliary equation. Okay, so it will be 2 lambda square plus 8 or lambda square is minus 4. So lambda will be plus minus 2 iota. Okay, so the roots are imaginary. Okay, so comparing with this root alpha minus iota b and alpha, sorry, alpha plus iota b, alpha minus iota b, we get alpha is equal to 0 because there is no real part, and beta is your 2. Okay, so beta is your 2. So beta is your 2. Okay, beta is your 2, and so its solution will be yt p c1 cos 2t and c2 sin 2t. Okay, now the differentiating y dot t minus 2c1 cos sin 2t and 2c2. This is cos 2t. Okay, now putting the limits, we can get c1 and c2. Y is equal to 0. Sorry, x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, x is equal to 0. So y dot is equal to 10, and from this we can c1 is equal to 0, and from this we get c2 is equal to 5. Okay, so the equation becomes 5. This will be 0. And this is 5 sin 2t. So when t is your 1, okay, 1 is in radian. So y1 is 5 4.54. Okay. Next, 1 kilogram of air that can be considered a calorifically perfect gas with characteristics constant R is equal to 287 joule per kilogram per degree Kelvin, and specific heat ratio gamma is equal to 1.4. Undergoes a constant volume process from an initial static pressure of 1 bar to final static pressure of 4 bar. The increase in entropy in joule per kilogram per Kelvin of the air is so the either you can remember the formula for entropy change, okay, for any process, or you can drive in the real exam. Okay, from the first law. So dq by so first law is your dq is equal to dw by dw plus du. Now dividing it by t. So dq by t integration will be ds. Okay, so this is ds, dq by t for the first part is ds, and dw by t, and this is your dw by t. dw is nothing but pdv and du by t. Okay, now it is given that the process is constant volume process. So this quantity is 0. So now we will have ds as equal to du by t, and this is ds is your mcv dt. Okay, now cv is gamma is given, r is given, so we can find out cp and cv by using this cp by cv is 1.4, and the r is your cp by cv, that is 27. So using these two, we can find out cv. cv is your 717.5 joule per kilogram per Kelvin. Okay, now we can put PV here. Okay, M is 1 Kelvin. Okay, and MCV dt by dt. Okay, integrating both limits, both sides, we get ds is equal to this 717.5 dt by t, 717.5 ln dt by t1. Okay, now putting the upper and lower temperature limit. Okay, the temperature is not given, but the pressure is given, so, and volume is constant. So we using PV by T relationship, PV by T constant. We can find out the T2 by T1 is equal to T2 by T1. T2 by T1 is your T2 by T1. So T2 by T1 is your 4. Okay, T2 is 4, T1 is 1. Okay, so this is the entropy change. Okay, so that is 994.66 joule per kilogram per liter. Okay. Next, if U is equal to 2 bracket x square minus y square and b is equal to minus axy represents the x and y component of the two-dimensional velocity field of an incompressible flow. The value of constant alpha is so as the flow is incompressible. So you see, sorry, here it should be incompressible. Okay. As the flow is incompressible. Okay. So the continuity change it. So the for incompressible flow, for incompressible flow, continuity equation is curly u by curly y x plus curly v by curly y. Okay, and u here is 2x square minus y square. Okay, and so curly by curly x is your 4x. Okay, and curly v by curly y is your minus ax. Okay, so a is your fourth curly. Okay, so this is the answer. Next, a spherical pressure vessel made of mild steel of internal diameter 500 mm and thickness 10 mm is subjected to an internal gauge pressure of 400 kPa. If the yield strength of the mild steel is 200 MPa, the factor of safety up to 1 decimal point. So the as spherical vessel is given, so for spherical vessel, hope stress and open stress are equal. Okay, so we have to find out the and the maximum stress is your hoop stress. So and hoop stress is your PD by 40. Okay, and P is your 400 kPa and D is your 500 mm and T is 10 mm. Okay, so putting the value, we can get maximum hoop stress that is 5 into 10 plus 7 Pascal and yield stress is your as 200 MPa. Okay, so the factor of safety is your maximum hoop stress. Sorry, maximum yield stress. Sorry, yield stress by hoop stress. So it will be your 4. Okay, okay, it is answer is 4. So yield stress by the maximum stress developed is your factor of safety. Okay, next. A square cross-section wooden column of length 3140 mm is pinned at both ends. Wait, wait. Opening second. This is error. Okay. Error. No, this is also not error. Yeah. Okay. So let us proceed. A scale cross-section wooden column of length 3140 mm is pinned at both ends. For wood, Young's modulus of elasticity is 12 GPa and the allowable compressive stress is 12 MPa. The column needs to support an axial compressive load of 200 kilonewton using factor of safety of 2 in the computation of inverse buckling load. The minimum cross-sectional area of the column is okay. So the given condition that the diameter of the sphere is d. Okay, diameter of the sphere is sorry, d is the side of the sphere. Sorry, d is the side of sphere. So moment of inertia is your d is 4 by 12. Okay, and area is your d scale. Okay. Now if we take the inverse buckling load, okay, and then it is pi square ei by l2. Okay, and factor of safety is given as 2, so it is divided by 2. Okay, so from this we get PE is equal to putting the value I as d4 by 12 and E as E is given, L is given. Okay, so we get P is equal to d4 by 22,000. Okay, and the compressive load is given as sigma c. Compressive stress is given as sigma c as 12, and it will the compressive load will be this. Okay, sigma c into a, so that will be 12 into d square. Here it is given. Here we can use both Rankine formula and we can find the question using the inverse buckling formula. Okay, so we will find out. Uh, we will find we will inverse buckling load is we will put here PE as 2000, put 200 to 200 into 1000. Okay, and we'll find out d. Okay, and from this we can also find out b. Okay, by putting 20,000 200 into 1000. Okay, and we can also use that kind formula to find out p. Okay, because pe is your d for to find out d. P is your d 4 by 2000 and P is your 12 D scale. Okay, so we can find out D from this also. Okay, and from this D, your D is your D scale is your this 299. So this is the area. Okay, but in the question, it is asked that competition has to be done according to the buckling Euler's buckling law, and so the we'll use this formula, okay, to find out d, and we'll put be is equal to 2200 into, okay, 200 into 10 power 3. Okay, so this is d square is your 20,000 mm square, so answer is also your 20,000. Okay, next, the length, width and thickness of the plate are 40 mm, 400 mm, 400 mm into 400 mm and 30 mm respectively. For the material of the plate, Young's modulus of elasticity is 70 GPa, yield stress is 80 MPa, Poisson's ratio is 0.33. When the plate is subjected to longitudinal tensile stress of 70 MPa, the increase in volume of the plate is, so the length, width, and thickness are represented by source x, y, and z. So as the longitudinal stress is given, so that is 70 MPa. So it will try to increase its strength. So its strain in x direction is your sigma by E, 70 by 70 into 1000 by 1000. So this is 1 into 10 minus 3. Okay. Similarly, epsilon by E is your mu sigma by E. Okay, because there is no space in y direction, so whatever strain will occur will be due to this sigma, and this will be the lateral strain. Okay, so this is you have minus 0.33. Okay, to 10 power minus 3. Similarly, in that direction, just take this, you have minus 0.33 to 10 power minus 3. Okay, now the volumetric chain is summation of these three. This minus this and this. Okay, so this will be 0.33 to 10 power minus 3. So volumetric chain is this amount. Okay, so the change in volume, this is volumetric change. So change in volume is given by uh, uh, volumetric change into volume. Volume is your 430. So answer is your 1584 mm2. Okay. Next, in a weave thread, a wire is fitted such that it makes contact with the plank of thread on pitch line as shown in figure. If the pitch P of the thread is 3 mm and the included angle is 60 degree, the diameter in mm up to one decimal place of the wire is okay. So this is the figure given. This is angle 60 degree, and this is the contact point. This is the pitch. This is pitch line. Okay. So as this is pitch line, so this angle will be 90 degree. Okay. So what will the diameter of the wire? Okay. So this is the simple question because this angle is your 30, half of 60, and this will be again 60. So and this angle is 90. So uh, pitch is your 3 mm. So this is your 0.25 p. Okay, this is 0.25 p. This is angle 30. So we can find out this okay by using simple formula. Okay, so this is your OB, sorry, BD by OB is your sine of this angle. This angle is your 60 degree. Okay, so BD is your D by sorry OB is your OB is your D by 2. Okay, so D is your 3 by 4 times 60. Okay, 3 by 4, 3 by root 3. Okay, so 2, sorry, 3 by 4, root 3 by 2, and this is your root 3 by 2. Okay, so this is your 1.732 mm. Okay, 3 by 4, root 3 by 2. Okay, next 1.732 mm. Okay, this answer is 1.732. Next, the project consists of three activities P, Q, and R. Uh, the duration of the activities follow beta distribution. The producer and the duration of activities are as per the following table. Okay, the activity predecessor, optimistic time, most likely time, pessimistic time. This is activity P, and then Q, then R, and Q is after P, and R is after Q. So here optimistic time are 2, 3, 3, 3, 5, 4, 10, 35. So the expected project completion time is so here the optimistic time is 2, 3, and 10. So using the formula expected time is 4. Okay. Similarly, for the Q activity is 6 and for the R activity is 4. Okay. Now P is after P there is Q and after Q there is R. Okay. So this is the critical part. Okay. So the project type is 4 plus 6 plus 4. That is 40. The answer is 40. It's a simple question. Okay. A company has two manufacturing plants C1 and C2 and two distribution centers D1 and D2. The capacities of C1 and C2 are 100 and 200 units respectively. The demand for D1 and D2 are 190 and 110 units respectively. The cost per unit in rupees for transportation at different route are as per the following metrics. The minimum total cost in rupees of transportation is, so this is your matrix. According, so according to least cost method, we will fill the matrix. Okay. Here the least cost for transportation is for that is okay 20. Okay. And here demand for D1 is 190 and demand for D2 is at 110. Okay. And availability or capacity of C1 is at 100 and this is 200. Okay. So this is 190. So uh, here we can fill 200, but demand is at 190. So all of the 190 can be filled here. Okay. So it is with a minimum cost. Okay. Now for this 10 more are required. Okay. So we have to fill this by 10. Okay. Now we are left with only 100. So its capacity is 100, demand is 100. Okay. Demand left is 100. So there is no other method, uh, other form in which we can build for the least cost. Okay, so this is the least cost. So no need to check for optimization. So and directly calculate 190 into 20, 10 into 27, 100 into 21. So answer is 6170. Okay, so this is the optimum cost. Okay, next, the annual demand of an item is 19845 units and production rate is 100 units per day. The per unit production cost is rupees 50. The per unit holding cost is rupees 10 per year. The setup cost is rupees 520 per setup. To minimize the total annual cost, the optimum quantity to be produced is, so the annual demand is your 19845 and holding cost is your 10 rupees. Setup cost is your 520 per setup and the production cost is your uh, the production cost is your 50 per unit and production rate is your 100 per unit because it is your okay and the consumption or depletion rate is your annual demand by number of days. The number of days are 365. So this is your depletion rate 54.35 units per day. Okay. Now the average inventory which has to be kept is, so in the time T1 is your, this is your production rate, this is your consumption rate. So multiply it by time and divide by 2. Okay. So the average inventory which has to be kept for time T1 is your this. Okay. Now in time T1 the number of units produced are Q suppose. Okay. Then T1 is Q by K. Putting this Q by 2 K minus R by K. Okay. So this is the inventory building. Okay. Now the total cost is your V into U. V is demand, U is units, Q by unit cost. Okay. This is carrying cost. Okay. Or the or inventory carrying cost. Okay. And number of orders are D by Q. Ordering cost is C1. Okay. So this is total cost. To minimize total cost, we have to differentiate it, and from this we get this formula use here is this. Now putting the different values, we have different values. We get 2126 units, or we can also solve it by equating carrying cost and equating ordering cost. Carrying cost and ordering cost. So we'll get the same formula. Okay. So answer is your Q126 units. Next, a production line operates 7 hours a day in a 5-day week. The processing time for various job elements the processing time for various job elements are as follows. Job element P, Q, R, S, T, the processing time 5, 10, 12, 3, and 15. If the line is designed for an output of 840 units per week, the theoretical Minimum number of workstation required is okay. So the line is designed for an approach. Okay. So this is the job element and processing time is given. Okay. Okay. Now the total completion time can be calculated by this. Okay. By summing of this. Okay. This is the total completion time. That is 45 seconds. Okay. And the number of hours. This is and number of time and sorry, time available is just 7 hours, or in seconds it will be it will be 7 into 3600. Okay, and the time for one job is your 45. Okay, and in 5 days or in 1 week there are 5 working days. Okay, so in 1 week we can produce 2800 units, okay, or 2800 jobs, okay, okay. So we have to calculate the theoretical minimum number of working sessions required. Is- okay. Now total number of jobs are we have to produce is 8400. Okay, in 1 week by using just one station in 1 week we are producing 2800. So number of stations are required 8400, 2800. Answer is here. Next, in a work sampling study of a worker, the information available are as follows. The total time of study 30 hours, number of items produced 320, total number of observations 1000, number of observations when the worker is found working 850, the average performance rating 105%, the company policy to give allowance 10% of total time on job standard time in minute per item up to one decimal place for the manufacturing item is okay. So the average time for the job this is the total time is 30 hours or 30 into 60 minutes. Okay, and for the number of items are 320. So the average time available for one job is 5.625 minutes. Okay, so as uh, but actual working time is 80, as actual working time is 85% of total working time is given. Mm. So a number of observations when the worker is found working is 850. Okay, and number of observations are now 10,000. Okay, so when worker is found working is 850. So actual working time is 85%. Okay, in sorry, there are 150 observation he is not found working. Okay, so in 850 observation is found working. So actual working time is 85%. Okay, so 85% of total working time is uh, 50% is your actual working time. Okay, so the job will be completed in this time only. Okay, so uh, so actual working time for the job is your 85% of this average working time for the one job is your this. Okay, so the actual working time is your 4.7815 minutes. Okay, 85% of this. Okay, so average performance rating is given as 105%. Okay, so and performance rating is your 105%. So normal time is normal because the workers are more efficient. Okay, uh, by 100%, because its performance rating is 105%. Okay, so workers are efficient in the company, but the normal worker will complete the job in this when we multiply that by performance rating. So this is the working time for the workers that are working in the company. Okay, and if we multiply with the performance rating, we get the normal time to complete the job. Okay, now the standard time is your normal time plus allowances. Okay, so and allowance is your 10%. So the standard time is your normal time plus allowances. This is your 5.522 minute. Standard time is your 5.522 minutes. Okay. Next, the break-even point of a manufacturing company is 50,000 units. The fixed cost is 200,000 and variable cost is rupees 20. The selling price per unit in rupees of the product at this break-even point is the fixed cost is your 200,000, variable cost is 20 rupees, selling price we have to determine. Okay, so at break-even point there is no loss, no profit. So let B be the break-even quantity, and that is your 50,000. Sorry, 50,000. Okay. So as into 50,000 will be equal to that is the total amount made. Okay, and that is the total amount invested. Okay, so this should be equal. So this is your uh, selling price into 50,000, and this is fixed cost, and this is your 20 variable cost, and this is 50,000. So equating the two, we can get S is equal to 24 rupees. So selling price is your 24 rupees at break even point, no profit, no loss. Okay. Next, a 10 mm thick plate is rolled to 7 mm thickness, 7 mm thickness in a rolling mill using 1000 mm diameter rigid rod. The neutral point is located at an angle of zero point 0.3 times the bite angle from the exit. The thickness in mm up to 2 decimal places of the plate at neutral point is. So this is your these are rollers. Okay, this is the initial thickness. This is the final thickness. Okay, and this is angle of bite. Okay, and this is the center of roller. Okay, this is radius of roller, and now uh, this BC will be this B2 center of this plate is your TI, and this TI by 2. Okay, and from the center of plate to this point it will be TF by 2. Okay, so BC will be your TI minus TF by 2. Okay, and this is your R. Okay, OC is your R. Okay, so and this is your R, and this is your alpha. Okay, that's the angle of bite. So R cos alpha will be OB, and this OC is R. Okay, so this TI minus TF by 2 is your R, that is OC minus OB, R cos alpha. Okay, so where R is roll radius and PI is initial thickness, PF is final thickness, alpha is angle of bite. So we can calculate alpha from this. Okay, so what we have to calculate? The thickness of the plate at neutral point. Okay, so uh, the neutral point at neutral point it is given that neutral point is located at an angle of zero point 0.3 times the bite angle. Okay, so the bite angle is your alpha. Okay, and the neutral point is your zero point 0.3 into this angle. Okay, so this is your 1.331. 7 6. Okay, this is alpha 1. Okay, so neutral point will come in between the. Okay, so the so let Tn be the thickness, because when the angle is alpha, the final thickness is your Tn. Okay, and when the angle is your alpha 1, that is the neutral point angle, then the thickness will be your Tn. Okay, so Tn minus Tf is equal to R minus R cos alpha 1. Okay, okay, so this is the angle, wide angle, so the angle between the neutral point and exit point is okay. So here it will take, we will take Tn because we are starting from neutral point. Okay, so angle alpha 1, suppose D is the neutral point. Okay, okay, so D is the neutral point, then this angle will be alpha 1. Okay, alpha 1, so it will be your R minus R cos alpha 1, Tn minus Tr. So from this, by putting alpha 1 as 1.33176, Pn is equal to 7.2701 mm. Okay, next, a cylindrical workpiece is turned at a speed of zero point 0.1 mm per revolution with a perfectly sharp tool. In a ASA system, the side and end cutting edge angles are 15 degree and 5 degrees respectively, as shown in the figure. The peak to valley roughness in micrometer up to 1 decimal place of machine surfaces. So the roughness is given by H max uh, F divided by tangent psi minus plus cos. This psi is your side cutting edge angle. That is the formula that you have to remember. Okay, to solve this question, you can skip out. You can also skip this question. Okay. Gamma is your end cutting edge angle. Okay, and F is your feed. All things are given. Put in the value, we get H max. Okay, that is the answer. Okay, so we have to remember the formula for this. Next, the work table in a CNC machine is driven by a lead screw with a pitch of 2 mm. The lead screw is directly coupled to a stepper motor of step angle 1.8 degree. Number of pulses required to move the work table by 50 mm. Okay. Now, the leads will be coupled to the stepper motor. Step angle is given as 1.8 degree. Okay. Step angle is step angle is the step in one revolution the motor revolves by 360 degree. Okay, and in one step it moves by 120 degree. Okay, so that is the step angle. Okay, so in one revolution or in one pulse, uh, uh, in one pulse it is 120 degree. For three, so number of pulses, so number of steps, you can say the number of steps in one revolution or 360 degree is your 200 steps. Okay, 360 by 1.8. Okay, so number of pulses required to move the work table, and in one revolution, the table advances by pitch, and pitch is your 2 mm. Okay, okay. So in 360 degree, it is in 360 revolution, sorry, in 360 degree angle, or in 200 pulses, the lead screw is advanced by 2 mm. Okay, or 2 mm, for 2 mm, the number of pulses are 200. Okay, so for 1 mm, it is 100, and for 50 mm, it is 5,000 pulses. Answer is 5,000 pulses. Okay, next, during orthogonal machining of a job at a cutting speed of 90 meter per minute with a tool of 10 degree rack angle, the cutting force and the thrust force are 750 Newton and 390 Newton respectively. Assume a shear angle of 30 degree, 5 degree. The power in watt expended expended for shearing along the shear plane is okay. Now, this is the Merton circle diagram with Fc cutting force and Ft thrust force, Fs shear force, Fn normal force, okay, and N is normal reaction, F is your friction force, alpha is your drag. Okay, so here this alpha is given as 10 degree, okay, and cutting speed is given as 90 meter per minute. Okay, the cutting force here it means Fc is your 750 and the Fn is your sorry Ft is your thrust force, the Ft is your 390. Okay, and shear angle pi is your 35 degree. These things are given. Okay, so the power required power expended for the shearing along the shear plane. Okay, so first of all we have to calculate Fs. Okay, now Fs is your Fc cos phi, Fc cos phi minus Ft sin phi. Okay, this is making an angle phi, so we will take cos phi. So this perpendicular to it, we will take sin phi because Fc component of cos component is up to that. So we take it, we will subtract Ft component. Okay, this is the method to learn or remember the formula. Okay, so draw the Merton circle diagram, then drive Fs Fc cos phi minus Ft sin phi. Okay, so putting Fc is equal to 750 and cos 35, so we can get Fs. Okay. Now again, now we have the cutting velocity. Cutting velocity is given. Okay, the cutting velocity is in this direction, and this is your chip velocity. This is your shear velocity. Okay, and V is given. So V is in this direction because FC is in this direction, and VS is in this direction. Okay, and VC is in this direction. Okay, and the angle between the VC and V is just pi, and VC and VC and this particular is your alpha, and this is your this is pi. This is 90 minus pi. So this angle is 90 minus pi plus alpha, and this is your 90 minus alpha. Okay, so all things are given. So alpha is your okay. So this is your alpha because, and then this is your 90 minus alpha. Okay, so we can use this VS angle in front of it with sin 90 minus alpha, and B angle in front of it alpha plus 90 minus pi. Okay. Now we have pi, we have alpha, we have V, so we can find out Vs. Okay. So we have found out that Fs. So Fs into Vs will be the power consumed in shearing. So this is your Fs into Vs. This is your 635.69669 watt. Okay. Next, in an electrochemical machining of aluminum with plain parallel electrodes, the current density is 70 ampere per centimeter square. The cross-sectional area of each element of each electrode is 3 centimeter square. The current efficiency, that is fraction of current used for dissolution of metal, is 80%. The gram atomic weight balancing and the density of aluminum are 27 gram 3 and 2700 kilogram per meter cube respectively. Take Faraday's constant as 96500 coulomb. The volume the volumetric material removal rate in mm cube per minute is. So according to Faraday's laws of electromechanical machining, for electromechanical machine, the metal removal rate is given as AI rho Z by F. Okay, where I is current, A is atomic weight. Okay, and atomic weight is given as 27 gram, and rho is density. Rho density is given in kilogram per meter cube, change it into gram per centimeter cube. Okay, and I is that current density is given. Okay, and area is given. So 70 into 3, and the fraction of current used is also given 0.8%. Okay, 0.8. So this is the current. Okay, this is your density. This is your atomic weight, and Z is your atomic number. That is 3 for aluminum. Sorry, that is valency. Valency is your 3 for aluminum. Okay. Because in the outer side of the aluminum there are 3 electrons, so that is the 3. Okay. So putting these values we can find out and metal remove it. Okay. So initially we'll find out in centimeter cube per second, then we can change it into mm per cube second by multiplying by 1000. Okay. So then we can change into per minute. Okay. So that is the answer. 348 by multiplying by 60. Okay. Next, two metallic sheets are spot welded by passing a current of 8000 ampere for zero point 0.2 seconds. Assume that the cylindrical nugget of 8 mm diameter and 3 mm depth is formed. The density of nugget is 7500 kg per meter cube. The effective resistance of the total system is 222 micro ohm and heat generated to produce 1 gram of nugget is 1400 joule. The percentage of heat actually utilized in producing nugget is okay. Here the current is at 8000 ampere and the time for the which the current is passing through is 2 seconds. Okay. And resistance is also given. Resistance is 22 micro ohm. Okay. So the heat produced can be written as I square RT. Okay. So V or VIT. Okay. So heat this is in joule. Okay. So this is your 2841.6 joule. Okay. So heat produces this. Okay. Now this is the heat supplied. Okay. Heat supplied by the power source or by the current. Okay. Now heat required to produce 1 gram of nugget is your 14 14,000 1400. Okay. 1 gram of nugget is 1400. Okay. And mass of nugget is volume of nugget into density. Density is your 7500 and diameter is 8 mm. Okay. And depth is 3 mm. So volume of nugget. Nugget is like a cylindrical nugget having cylindrical shape. So it is pi by 4 d square L. Okay. So this is your mass. Okay. And this is the heat required to produce 1 gram nugget. Okay. Heat required to produce nugget. This is for 1 gram and this is for 1.130 gram, which is 1582.56. Okay. So the total heat available is your 2841 and heat required is 184 1582.56. So percentage heat utilized is 55.69%. Okay. So that is the answer. Next, in a planar 2 degree of freedom robot link 1 30 centimeter length is connected to base by a W joint and link 2 of length 20 centimeter is connected to link 1 with a W joint as shown in the figure. The work envelope area bracket in centimeter square covered by the point P is okay. So the maximum reach of the when this link one, okay, and link two is vertical, okay, and opposite. So the length of link one is your 30 centimeter and length of link two is your 20 centimeter. So the maximum it can reach up to that point. So that is 50 centimeter from the just fixed point. Okay, so maximum radius can be 50 centimeter. Okay, and minimum it can when this P point comes here. Okay, okay. When this P point comes here, then it will be this point. Okay, then it can rotate around this, and maximum it can rotate or we can move like this. Okay, along this. Okay, so the maximum reach is So maximum diameter it can cover is 50 centimeter and minimum diameter it can cover is when it is so this when this is your when this is your 30 centimeter and this is your 20 centimeter. This is means 10 centimeter. So minimum it can cover is your 10 centimeter. Okay, so the area is your pi by pi. Sorry, radius is your 50 centimeter and this is 10 centimeter radius. Okay, so pi r square, capital R square minus R square over pi 50 square minus 10 square. That is 7536 centimeter. Here. Okay, thank you very much.